Alrighty, let's get this party started. Okay, we're going to be working on the Apple II schematic tonight. And this is something we've been doing for a couple of weeks now. We didn't do it last week because I forgot. I was busy finishing a video and totally forgot to ever start the stream. So we'll pick up right where we left off. So this is out of the Bit Preserve project, which I think we have a command for. Let's see if the bot is awake. Preserve. I will not have music this time because, I totally did not mean to have music last time. And I ended up playing my Spotify playlist. All right, so let's... Oh, I thought I got rid of that. There's this stupid emoji thing that I can't get rid of. And it's right where I want. I need another message because I can't get to the burger icon. Anyway, Bellum, if you're still around, great to see you show up in chat. It's been a long, long time. So, all right. We have done a bunch of cleanup. Let's double check to see what our ERC comes out at. Where'd all this stuff come from? I thought we fixed all this stuff. Okay. Actually, okay. I remember where we're at now. Now I wonder, what is this one for? I don't remember this. Pin not connected. Okay. That one I knew about. What's this one? Input not driven by any outputs. Okay. We may just leave that one for now. I think we're going to be at a point where, yeah, okay. And then these I knew about. Let's see, what's this complaining about? Yeah, okay. Basically where we're at, there's a couple of duplicates, which we need to look at the original schematic to determine what they're supposed to be. There's that flip-flop that is not connected right. I think that's a mistake. And then there's some issues with these input and output pins, but that's because the labels are messed up. So what we're going to work on tonight is converting these global labels to hierarchy sheet labels and then connecting all those up. Hey, Luke, welcome to the stream. Or I should say maybe welcome back. So let's just get into, let's start changing these labels around. So what is the hotkey? It is a H. Yeah. So we're going to do H, and I want a not DMA. And it looks, and I think DMA on this is an input because that comes from a card. And it's basically, its intent is to delay the 6502, or was it? It's to inhibit the 6502 so that the card can drive the memory bus. All right, so that one's done. Let's do one for read write, and we'll follow the convention that they've already done, which is this. And this is going to be an output because that's coming from the 6502. Address bus will be output. Oh, nope, I meant to do H. And then this is going to be, how does this work? I think we actually just do A0.15, and that's output. All right, so we'll delete this one and move this one to here. Okay, what else we got? We got one for data. Yep, let's change that. So that one is going to be bidirectional. So we'll do an HD0.7. So the really, really good news is I have finished the Mega 2E video. Can you believe it? It's actually done. I don't know when it's coming out, but my part is done. I'm very, very excited. In fact, earlier today, I needed to take a break from an article I'm working on. And so I spent a few minutes cleaning up all of the issues on Rev 3 because I think I'm going to do a second spin of Rev 3. And then after that one, once I verify I've corrected all the mistakes, then I'm going to do a Rev 4, which will actually change the form factor. So now here's my question. LD0, does that come from somewhere else? I think that's on the RAM page. It is. So what we're going to do is we're going to correct. This should be a bus. I'm not sure why they didn't do this as a bus, but I'm going to do it as a bus so that it's cleaner to get it out of here. So, well, tell you what, let's do these two signals first because they're a little bit easier. So we'll do a KBD, and that should be an input. Got to keep remembering that. And then we have a RAM cell, and that looks like it's an input from somewhere. KBD probably comes from the keyboard page because that's probably, I think KBD is from the keyboard controller. Or is that the one that comes from what on the 2E is the, what do you call that? Now, what I could have done is I could have made local labels for the, well, okay. Just had this thought. I should actually make these local labels. And okay. Yeah, okay. Let's do this the right way. So I'm going to move this to be approximately in the middle. And then what we're actually going to do is let's bring this back. Let's add a label called not KBD and a label called not RAM select. Oops, that's not right. Tilde goes on the outside. And then both of these we're going to put over here. All right, and then we can move this to here. Whoops, move. Whoa, no. Total fail. All right, let's move this over to here. And then I'm going to do something like that. And then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to move that to over here. And do this. And then I'm going to do, I should have done this before I moved them. We're going to paste this here, and I'm going to shift those on the X. Because I want my inputs on the left, outputs and bidirectionals on the right. I guess bidirectionals can go pretty much anywhere, but I don't know. Because like this is reset. So let's just move this out of the way. Let's create a label called reset. Copy that. We'll move this, and then I can create a label here. And then we'll create a hierarchy. Ooh, did I do text? That doesn't look right. Why is that why is that? I must have done text by accident. There we go. All right. And now we'll do this. Yeah. All right. So then let's copy this right about there. Wire connect to there. Ooh, I like that. That's so much nicer. What else did we already do? We did read write. Okay. So read write, what we might do is we might just do this. Same thing with the address, which is an output. Data. Yeah, so, I need my other cursor. So if I move this whole thing over, and then we can just kind of bring that to there. That'll work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a label called D0.7. Let's drop that right there. So that on this one, we can delete that. Nope. Is that really down one more? Really? Oh, I'm on the other grid. That's why. I'm on the superfine grid. That's cool. You can do it your way. All right. Yeah, that's looking sharp. So then, see, I think this is local to the page. That's local to the page. That's local to the page. I'm actually not sure why we wouldn't just do this. I mean, I'll leave the label there because it makes it super clear what it's for. Actually, what we could do then is we just do this. We don't need that label. D07. Okay, so we can take this label. We're going to put that right over here. Delete this global and bust that over to there. All right, I'm liking that. All right, did we do DMA? That I feel like I've already done DMA. I did. That's why we're going to move DMA over here. And then we'll make a little line just with a W. Oops, it drooped. Let's make a line with the W. That's better. And then we'll put a label up here. I'm just going to copy and paste it because I just want to change the stuff inside. All right. And then we're going to delete this. And do one of these. And then I'm going to do one of these. And we'll create a label called phase input 0. Why is there an I? Who said that signal should have an I on it? I did not. Okay, that wasn't funny. That's the best I got for jokes. Okay, let's just move all this up. I'm using the G hotkey to move stuff around. It keeps things snapping into place. Just trying to make this a little more readable. All right. So then, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to highlight these, copy, paste, rotate. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to move this down. And then I'm going to hit an H. And we're going to do 50. I'm going to click it there. Then I'm going to click and hold. Come on. Click and hold. And we're going to select the global label and delete it. Much better. Oh, yeah, I like where this is going. This is going really nice. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's another case where there's a reset. So let's put a label and connect that. That's going to look much nicer. Okay, I want to move this up just because I want a little more margin in the box. But overall, that looks okay. I would like to move that whole thing over, but I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. I'm actually going to change this. I don't like having decimals in the values because I feel like the decimals get lost too easily. Okay. Where else? Okay, there's read write again. Can I just... Okay, so we need to do a label here. And we'll do read write. And then I'm just going to put that like, I don't know. Like right there, I guess. Because then I want to put that over here. And let's delete this. Let's bring this over a few more. Move this up to here. Move that over. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. Are there any other globals on here? I don't think that there are. I wish... Oh, you know what? Oh, my goodness. You know what I did? I forgot to put DMA back up here. This actually makes me realize, you know what I'm going to do right now? Let's go ahead and plot a PDF of this in case I need to... in case I do exactly what I just did, where I deleted something and forgot to put it back. So we'll go ahead and just plot that, and that way we'll have something to compare to. And I'll try really hard not to commit those to the Git until until we're done. Hey, Christian. Pain and suffering indeed. Although this is, I feel like we're getting to sort of the fun part because we've kind of gotten through the stuff that was like super bad. There, that should be fixed. That because like now it's not quite as it's now what we're doing is we're changing all of the global labels to sheet labels. I can't say the other word, hierarchy, although it sounds like I'm trying to say a different word when I say sheet. Never mind. Anyway, yeah. All right, let's just grab this and then let's do a H and name that. Actually, you know what I just realized? I forgot. I have a macro to do this. I'm not going to bother finding it. But I did this before on another schematic, and it was one that I made. And I wrote, not right, but I used my my mouse. I have a gaming mouse that has macro keys. And I made a macro to convert labels, I think to convert global labels into sheet labels. I totally forgot. Buses don't work. Tyler, I don't know what you mean by that. It depends on what you mean by they don't work. All right, so this is, I did not catch this before, but these should all be set to passive because this is a connector. I get why these were defined. In fact, I've done it myself, but the reality is a connector is a connector. Also, these aren't right anyway. I will say buses in KiCad 5 were pointless. I think they got fixed in 6. They're definitely fixed in 7 in terms of they work a lot closer to how they should work. All right, we're going to get a bunch of those now, aren't we? Shoot. So ERC is not going to be all that useful. What's this tell me? Oh, I need to update symbol. I only want to know if it's going to complain on this symbol. And the only thing it's complaining about are the no connects, which are totally cool. Okay, I don't care about any of the other ERC errors at the moment because we've basically disconnected everything. So, of course, it's going to be mad. Superbad, that's a movie. Yeah, that is a movie, isn't it? Although, no joke, when Superbad first came out, I thought it was I immediately thought it was related to Strong Bad. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. They got a movie. And I was like, oh, that's not it. I wish I hadn't done any of that. That doesn't look better at all. Okay. Oh, we forgot about these. Yeah, we're going to create a bus for this. Speaking of buses, so let me save this because what I want to do is grab all of these and we're just going to move them off the side. I'm hoping in KiCad 8 that they add align tools into the schematic editor. There's a lot of work being done on the schematic editor, and I'm really, really hoping that's one of the things that they address. I think is it X, Z? Yeah, Z is the leaf for... I'm going to come out to here, I think. Is for the buses. All right, and then let's delete this one. Let's G this one over 1. And then we're going to create a label called LD0. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this is going to go here. This is going to go, I think this one comes up here. Nope, it goes here. All right, we need to do a couple of wires. Oh, stop that. That's not what I wanted. All right, so these need to move back 1. right? Okay. Actually, don't know what's going on here. All right. And then I want to move this over 1, move that over 1. All right, what do we need? We need number 3 still. And number 2. All right. Now we're going to G this one up to here so that we can grab all of this. Not you. And move these down just a smidge. Ah, missed it. Very well. Trace schematic rendering? Yeah, I wish. I do think you can import, well, no, you can import a bitmap now and kind of use that to trace. But, I mean, actually, a trace function would be helpful, but, I mean, it wouldn't be, you know, because if you remember me droning on about this before, there were a lot of people who were like, why don't you just use machine vision and OCR the schematics? You shouldn't have to redraw them. And it's like, yeah, well, in reality, none of these schematics are in good enough shape for that kind of stuff to work. However, I could see like a tracing tool. Whoa, man, that was terrible. I could see like a tracing tool that might help with like a bulk of the work, and that would be cool. What is going? Why do I feel like? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. So let's do a Z and rotate, and then just do this, 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 this. Grab this, go grab all of these. Let's move this over. I kind of want to redo that one now. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this stuff. I was hoping I would get, oh, I got to do it this way. I wanted the leaves. So I'm going to delete 6, 7, 5, and 4. And then I want to grab all of these, and we're just going to move this over as much as we can. It's not lined up. That bothers me, but... oh, no. Where did this go before? Oh, crap. Okay. I didn't notice that. All right, so then I'm going to do something like this. Why does that one get a special soft 5? Why is there something called soft 5, I wonder? Yeah, that's not going to work. Shoot. Okay. I hate that, but I don't know how else to handle that at the moment. Oh, ray tracing instead of, yeah, okay. Yeah, I missed that. Good one, though. D4. Oh, you're right. That was not connected. Thank you. All right, so then this is now going to go down here. This is going to go up here. This is going to go here. Yeah, so that makes even less sense. So the output of this is, oh, that's bit 7 though. Wait a minute. I'm going to have to look up what this signal is, because it shows up in a lot of places, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm pretty sure LD0 is somewhere else in this schematic. So we're going to put it over here. So let's do LD0.7. I'm assuming it's bidirectional at the moment, but I'm not entirely positive. Oh man, that can't be a wire. What are you crazy? All right. That's better. Okay. Now the CPUs, that stays here. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's just there to confuse people. Well, you know, Woz was a little bit of a troll, so that's not an entirely impossible option. That's a weird way to say impossible or possible. Oh, goodness. All right. Okay. So I think that's all the globals in here. I wish there was like I just thought of this. I'm going to try something. Let's put a global label in here called ASDF. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything. We're going to go into Sublime. Just a moment. Yep, glad I did that. Okay, and then I'm going to look for ASDF, and it is a global label. So now I'm going to search this to see, is there a global label? No, we found them all. Cool. That's going to work. I should just leave this open so I don't. Okay. All right. So let's save this. And then up here, let's do, what is it? Import sheet pin. And then I'm just going to, I'm not going to do anything in terms of organizing or whatever. I just want to get the stuff here. Because what we'll do is once all the blocks are done, then we'll try to figure out where they might end up or where they could go. Wow, that's got to go away. Holy cow, I can't believe I did that all this time. Just a second. Studio mode. Let's go to I need to just turn that subscribe thing off. That's like really old way to do stuff. Second input. Let's just move me over to about there so that stops being in my face, and that'll work for today. All right, let's continue. So what I'm going to cheat just a slight bit. I'm going to come in and copy address and data. I don't know why. That's not going to do what I want. So address is pretty easy because that's going to belong over here. Data we'll put over there because why not? It's still going to be bidirectional on this page, but now this is an input. And then we'll do a line, a label, and put that right there. Except that shouldn't be a line, James. It's a bus. Come on. How many times are you going to do that today? Let's keep track. All right, put a bus here, copy, paste, and then that's in good shape. So then I think I'm just going to copy this because we're going to keep reusing this. Let's move that up and do this. Move, rotate this to here. Move that to there. Move this all the way back. Copy this. And then we'll try to maintain the same thing throughout. All right. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now let's do that for DH. For D0. Come on. All right. Let's label that D0.7. No, go away. So we're going to delete you. I'm going to put you like right there. And we're going to bust that to here. And copy this. Delete this. Paste this. And then we can move that down because it's slightly smaller. Paste this. Move this down. Gosh, that looks good. I'm really liking this. All right. Same thing with these datas. Or datum. Does anyone ever say datum? Like I feel like that's one of those words that technically we should be using, but nobody does. I'm trying to think. I think in some like comments and stuff, I have done like things like that. Hey Bellum, welcome to becoming the first intern at level 1. Yay! Thank you for your support, friend. I have good news, everybody. Now that the Mega 2E project is technically done, one of the things I decided to do on this channel is a deep dive in how all of the circuits work. Because about the only place that those exist right now are on Twitch, which is fine if you have a couple hundred hours to go and watch. But I thought it'd be cool to basically take each of the blocks and say, okay, here's how the disk drive stuff is working. It also should be a cool way to look at how just the Apple II works. But okay, I don't like how this is drawn. But yeah, anyway, thank you for your support. Re-enable the default YouTube app. Oh, yeah, I can imagine that. It's probably the only way that you can. It's probably the only thing that supports the fancy things. All right. So on here, what we're going to do is since this page is not all that busy, we're going to bring this all the way over, and we're just going to say roughly here, and then I'm going to move the data over. I'm going to move this one over to here. Just a heads up, even though I am totally intending to stream at this time slot every week, except last week, I may not stream next week, or I may stream on Wednesday. I have a meeting Thursday afternoon, and I have a feeling I might not be able to make it back in time, or I'll just start late because we're still kind of getting going again, so maybe nobody really... It's not a big deal. It's just, yeah, I didn't want to schedule a meeting. However, the person I'm meeting with doesn't have as flexible schedule as I do. So, anyway. Should have just done it this way. That's not what I should be doing at all. This should have been a... hierarchical label, and it should be an output. I'm pretty sure this is for decoding when IO stuff is happening. Let's copy this one, delete, paste. Oh, nope. Let's do hierarchy, label, and output. And then we'll put one of these here. There we go. Okay, so that's taken care of. I do really feel like, though, okay, I am going to put a label over here just so that it's obvious what these are all doing. There we go. And then we'll just move this to be like right about here. There we go. I like that better. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I used to, when I was in corporate America, I would block out lunchtime on my calendar just to prevent people from being like, oh, you've got this one block of time free. It's like, yes, it's like we can meet, but I'm going to be stuffing my face while we do. Yeah. I was always like, come on. And it, and especially like in my case, I worked across tons of time zones. So people just didn't always think that, would be a time that you would be busy. All right. I forgot to set that to input. Can you just right click? No. Man, that'd be nice if you could just right click and say input. Or I wonder if when KiCad 8 adds the properties panel, that might be a easier way to do that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like at some point I'm going to have food. So yeah, I don't know. I've found living in the central time zone, tons of meetings get scheduled tons of meetings get scheduled during lunch, and it's always like, why? I was trying to change something real quick, but I can't remember where they hide it. Like I thought it was in here. Okay, I'll do this later. Because I don't remember where it's at all. Trying to get rid of the thing that says subscribe. It's like a badge I added so many years ago. I don't remember where it's at. Hey, Sam. Thank you for becoming an intern as well.
There was much rejoicing.
Yay. I'm actually very excited. Streaming this whole time? No. I only started this maybe 2 months ago at most. I don't even think it was 2 months ago. In fact, it might have been the beginning of September. So I don't have a good reason why I decided on Twitch versus YouTube, other than I just didn't want to get everything going again on Twitch. So yeah. So this is inhibit is for the ROMs. Okay, so this is going to be an input to this page. Okay, which means I actually want this on the other side. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this different than what they did because I don't really like this. We're just going to do it this way because I think this is going to be slightly cleaner. Is we will just put the labels on. Oh, silent. Got you. Okay. Yes. Welcome to the YouTube side. But yeah. I've only been doing this like, I don't know. I think September is around when I started. It was I think it was right around the time when I found out my talk was selected for SuperCon. So I'll be doing SuperCon the first week in November. I'll be talking about the Mega 2E project, of course. All right. So I appreciate that the person that did this schematic, they originally did these as they connected them all, but I just feel like because it's an input, I don't know. Actually, that's a terrible reason. I just feel like this is cleaner. So let's try and do this. Yeah, let's do something like that. I have an account on Twitch, and I used to stream exclusively on Twitch, but I don't think I'm going to go back to doing that. And there's not any real reason other than I was like, with everything going on all of the various social media platforms, I was just like, when I decided to start doing streaming so the change I'm doing here is I'm mostly going to stream KiCad or maybe coding. And when I code, it'll be like microcontrollers. It won't be, like what real programmers do. And so I just was kind of looking at it like, there's 3 different replacements for Twitter. And then it's like I have a YouTube channel, and I just didn't make sense to do it on Twitch. I don't know. It was not an easy decision because I saw positive and negatives. But the other thing is, and not that YouTube does a whole lot to bolster STEM content, but at least they do have science and technology categories that get automatically added and sometimes highlighted. And that's something Twitch is clearly not have any interest in doing. So you're subbed on people that haven't streamed in like 5 years. Nice. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I should even say this because I don't know if it was supposed to happen. But when I left the affiliate program a few months before I stopped streaming, and it was right about the time I should have been getting a payout, and then they said I wouldn't get a payout. I was like, okay, whatever. I really don't care. It's only $50. It's not enough to get upset about. And then the other day I got it, like a year later. So I don't understand what happened, and I'm like, okay, sure. If you think I should have gotten the money, fine. But I'm not sure why I did. All right. I want to update this symbol, matching this value. Let's go ahead and do an update. And then I got to move everything. I think this looks a little better because then ground and D0 is not running into each other. I'm going to do the 5 volts first because I don't want to move my finger. All right, so now we can do ground or G for move. Wait, that's the same thing. All right, move this one up here, move this one over to here. All right, cool. Yeah, that's looking so much better. And then what we probably should do is group these together somehow. Maybe something like this. And then I'll actually just move this down here. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave that up there because it's not really... Okay. I like that. That works for me. And I'm okay with these addresses being connected because it's a nice clean line. I don't like having these like nodes that are just crisscrossing each other. It's so hard to see. The internet's in a correction of terms of what sites are on top. Yeah, no kidding. I actually thought when the Reddit API stuff went down, I really thought that was going to be the end of Reddit. But it seems like they weathered that storm and it's bounced back. Wait a minute. Dun dun dun. I'm not on the latest version of KiCad. Oh well. I don't know what's different. Okay. let's go ahead and import those and keep going. I am going to put data somewhere over here, an address over here, because it's probably going to end up over there. And then clock 1, we'll put down, well, I'll put like roughly here. Sweet. Okay. Video generation. Oh my God, this has so many labels. Okay. It would be really, really nice if this had a convert to oh, if I had $1 for every time I said that. Change to hierarchical label. Change. I wish this was a hotkey. I wonder if I can make it a hotkey. Change to hierarchical label. Hotkey. Control Alt Shift H. Nope, that didn't work. Control Shift H. And then if I search for Control Shift H. Okay. Okay, that'll be okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do is something you can't do, which is we're going to set a macro key, because that is going to super speed up my thing. I think I know what this week's short is going to be. How to clean up labels quickly. Key assignments. What do we got free? Zoom in, zoom out. These are probably the macro keystrokes that I was talking about earlier. I don't know what those are. Macro. This is actually the macro I did. Yeah, okay. So I'm actually going to delete that. And then we're going to add new assignment's going to be a keystroke. And the key is going to be Control Shift H. All right. And we're going to assign that to number 4. And this will be convert to higher. I don't know how to. I can't say or spell that word. I don't care. Okay. So then I should be able to come in here and just click this and then hit that. No. Okay. What was the... Oh, wait. Was that for PCB? I wasn't paying attention now. Shoot. Oh, it's just Control Shift H. Okay, hold on. I did it wrong. Come on. Get it right. Get it right. Hey, XOT. I don't know if you saw in the Discord, but I have finished the Mega 2E project. Well, I finished the video for it, I should say. All right. Control Shift H, right? There we go. All right, we can close this now. Oh my goodness. This is so much faster. Now, I still want to see now what we're still going to have to do is we still have to clean things up, but this is just a heck of a lot faster to do it this way. Okay. So that's fun. When they're adding dark mode for non-Linux. So dark mode only doesn't work in Windows, and it's a WX widgets problem. It's not a KiCad problem. And so apparently it's not on the roadmap to fix in WX widgets, and the KiCad developers don't want to do any of the hacks necessary to make it work. So when are they going to fix it? It's not even, from what I can understand, it's not even under consideration, which is unfortunate. I sort of understand, but it's still unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, it's funny because like in the KiCad Discord, I think somebody probably asks about it at least once a week. In fact, I'm sort of like, I think what I find annoying is why they don't just remove the option in the preferences, because, or at least gray it out and say non-functional in Windows, because that seems to be the biggest problem is people are like, well, I'm clicking this and it does nothing. You know, that's pretty annoying. Yeah, I saw your thing in the Discord about Tube Tester. I don't have anything to recommend there because that's not something that I have done. In terms of isolation transformer, just get a decent quality one. You know, don't get one that is don't just get the cheapest one on Amazon. And remember, isolate your DUT, not your test equipment. All right, you can buy a new scope or whatever. Lives are a little more expensive. You can make the so at least in KiCad you can make the workspace dark. You just can't get the icons dark. That's the only anything in the UI you can't change, which is unfortunate. So I mean, it's not a total loss, but yeah, it's still frustrating. DUT device under test. Did we do H2 yet? No. Yeah, I've actually started trying to in Workbench Wednesdays videos, I've been trying to remember to put a lower third that says that, because I don't always remember to say device under test. And even when I do, I don't think people always know what that means. I feel like in writing it is a little more obvious, but yeah, when you hear it, it's not quite as obvious. Did we do H3 yet? We did. All right, and then V3, I feel like I've done that one. No, we did 4. All right, so let's convert this one, Wait a minute. Yeah, we shouldn't need to do that. I should be able to just leave it like this. Okay. LD7. So that's VH and VB, which we're going to change those. Oh, where do they go? They're up here. Let's change this one and this one. We may actually be able to move these down now, so that's a little cleaner. Except I want those to go over here. Okay, for now I'm putting them down here because I'm not sure what to do. I'm just going to put them there for the moment while I think about how we're going to handle these. Okay, because like this one, that's 0 through 7. I think up here what we're going to do is we're just going to put the same thing here with one leaf. And then, did I do this one yet? No. So I've been trying to put the bidirectionals on this side. So let's add that. Okay. So that needs to be bidirectional. All right. The dud. Yeah. So many. Yeah. So the Apple II Plus. So this is the Apple II Plus schematic, and it is entirely off the shelf 7400 series components. So there's probably a handful of basic gates that would be similar to the AGC, but like I would imagine anything beyond, I was just gonna say anything 74-100 or higher, probably not. But like the basic Boolean gates are probably the same between them, since those were the first integrated circuits. I mean, definitely the NAND gate, so 7400. That was, I know the AGC used a boatload of that. But the Apple II, that's one of its like defining characteristics, is that it was entirely off the shelf components. There's like 80 something, I forgot what I was doing already. There's 80 something chips inside, and the keyboard controller is somewhat custom. It's a masked controller that's actually based on a 6502. And then the ROM chips are custom because they're masked. They're the custom code. And then the RAM chips, I don't think are 7400 series. I don't remember. We'll see it here in a minute. And then the rest of the chips are 7400 series stuff, other than the 555 and the 6502. It's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. It's one reason why, in terms of which vintage computer do I like the best, I do like the Apple II the best, because it is a hardware machine. It's like let me make sure I'm not trying to. So like, if we compare the Apple II against a Commodore 64, the Commodore 64 is mostly custom chips. And that is just less interesting to me, because it's like, well, you just kind of, you put signals in and you get signals out, right? I mean, what's cool about even the Apple IIe, which has it consolidates a bunch of the Apple II logic into 5 custom chips, you can still go and look at the Apple II schematic and understand what's going on. And that's like from the Mega 2E project, that's a lot of what I had to do, was even though I was looking at custom chips, I could still go and see what the basic logic was, because all they did was consolidate stuff. And so I'm not trying to say that I want to be clear, I'm not saying that the design of the Commodore 64 is a lesser design, or there's anything wrong with what Commodore did. It's just that it's harder to look at it and say, okay, what's going on inside of the VIC, or what's going on inside of the PLA, right? It's just, it's not, they never had a discrete version of it. And so that's just not as fun to me. But it's exceptionally well documented, and you can, all the memory addresses and the behaviors and everything. And so that, that's all fun and cool. But to me, that makes it more of a software machine, because, that's more software stuff. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. I just really like how the entire Apple II line is based on these super basic gates. It's not, there's not a whole lot of, until at least after the 2E, there wasn't a lot of like super clever chip design to make stuff happen. So it just, yeah. And like I said, I want to be clear. I am not saying it's a bad design or whatever. That's not what I said. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. I gotta go look at the thing. because I was not paying attention to what I just did. What am I trying to open up? GitHub, BitPreserve, Apple II Plus. I should have a PDF in here. Oh, is it going to complain because I haven't rebooted yet? Okay. Yeah. What do you call it? Acrobat was mad because it did an update, and it's like, you need a reboot. I'm like, I'm not rebooting for Acrobat. Give me a break. All right, so it went load, shift register, 14 and 7. Where'd it go? What the heck? Yeah, load 14.7 soft 5. I really want to know what that soft 5 signal is. Okay. So let's copy this. And then why is that on this one twice, I wonder? It is, whatever this signal is, it is clearly important. I just don't know what it is. There's probably a paragraph on it in the inside the Apple II circuit. Yeah, exactly, Bellum. I actually started to notice it on. I remember like when Linux desktop stuff started to become a little more popular. It was always funny to me because, you know, if a program would do like it's an installer, which was still just using package management, it'd be like, oh, you need a reboot. It's like, no, I don't. I absolutely do not need a reboot for your thing that does not even use system services. Nice try. Yeah. And I would notice it on the Mac as well. So there would be, what I noticed was any software that was cross-platform, if it ran on Windows as well as Mac, it would almost always ask for a reboot when you would do any kind of update or install. And it's like, yeah, you're just being lazy. And frankly, if in Linux or the Mac you're doing something that's that invasive, then you should be able to tell me why I need a reboot and give me like the actual reason. Which coming over to Windows has been a, you know, it's I can't believe how often I reboot just because I can't figure out how to kill something that's actually running. Like I've got a bug with my video drivers and Premiere Pro where my computer gets into this laggy state, and I don't know how else to explain it. And sometimes I can do Control Shift Windows B to reset the graphics drivers, and sometimes I have to reboot. And I can't figure out why it works sometimes and not others, and what even causes the problem. It's so frustrating because you would think I should just be able to reset something and get it working again, but no. Oh well, I should have turned this on for that. Oh, I don't even know where it's at. Oh, good thing I looked, because I don't know where my rant thing is. It's not that one. It's not that. Wow. Oh, I must have gotten rid of the button. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. I'll use that next time. Okie dokie. Man, look at all this. I can't help it. I don't know. I'm actually really excited because my the warranty, the accidental coverage on my Surface Book has lapsed. So now I can finally justify replacing it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I can't wait to get rid of it. That one, oh my God. I can't believe, just earlier today, I was using it, and all of a sudden it became slow AF. I could not do anything. Everything was lagging, and then all of a sudden it was fine, and I could not figure out what was causing it. That just drives me insane. It's like, at least if like I open up task manager and I see something going nuts, it's like, okay, that's annoying, but at least it's like, okay, I know why it's happening. It just does this thing where all of a sudden it becomes entirely unusable and I have no idea why. I can't believe it. And then the other day, this was a couple weeks ago. So I had been telling Element 14 I was going to finally get around to finishing the Apple II video. And I was starting to make really good progress. And then I got to the point where I had to go and do some screen capture stuff of like booting into number munchers and seeing it crash and stuff like that because I needed better captures of it. And the day I was like, okay, today I'm going to do all the stuff I need to do with my laptop to do the screen captures. So I have a Surface Book Pro or Surface Book 2, and the screen and the keyboard disconnect from each other. And then they're connected via it's a custom connector, but it's basically just a PCI Express, or you can even say it's probably USB 3, but it's like a PCI Express bus between the two. All of a sudden, it started cycling where it just would disconnect and reconnect. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why? What? Huh? I couldn't believe. Eventually, I found a piece of wire had actually from a stranded wire had gotten onto the connector. But it was just like, I was just like, the problems with this computer just will never end. They just won't end. So, okay, I'm done with that. I cannot wait to get rid of that thing. It was the worst. It's the worst laptop I've ever had. I can't even compare. The thing that really blew me away too is, because it was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to recover it. And I'm like, I need a computer, especially a laptop, to try to capture stuff. I pulled out my 9-year-old MacBook Pro and got it up and running in about an hour and a half with having to re-update the OS a couple of times. And I'm like, why is this thing so much more reliable than my, I guess, 4-year-old now, Surface Book? Like, it just blew my mind. I'm like, come on, this thing's been sitting in a box for the last 3 years and it's 9 years old and it works better. Like, come on, what is wrong with you? Okay, I should have turned the rant thing back on. Was my McAfee Surface expired? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's always fun when you get the virus things about the virus scams, and you're like, I have a Mac. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. It's like, I mean, not to say that Macs can't have viruses, it's just you generally don't have things like McAfee or Norton installed on a Mac. So the likelihood that you're getting a notification that it's expired is probably pretty low. Wow, look at that. We got a bunch done on this while I ranted. I like that. I like when stuff like that happens. Planning to build this? Nope. No, not going to build it. No, so the Bit Preserve project, which is linked or pinned at the top, it is a repository where people can recreate vintage computer schematics in KiCad. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Recreate vintage computer schematics in KiCad and then upload them. And so where I got the idea was back when I started the Mega 2 project. I was really frustrated with how difficult it was to work with old scans of schematics. I was enormous, or still am, enormously grateful that they exist, but they're terrible to work with. And so I got the idea of, well, what if we redrew the schematic as a KiCad schematic? And a bunch of people agreed with me. And so, I don't know, there's probably a dozen computers in the repository right now. And so what I started doing back when I said, okay, I'm going to start streaming again, what I realized is one of the things I like to do for fun is work with these schematics, and because it helps me understand and learn these computers better. And so right now, the process I'm going through is I'm looking at the schematics that other people created and I'm cleaning them up, because I never really checked anything that people gave me other than that they followed a couple of rules that I wanted to make sure we like. I didn't want a PDF of the original schematic included. And so like this schematic had a number of issues that we've corrected. So, yeah. So that's the idea. That's what's going on. I don't intend to do anything like with the PCB. I assume somebody has already recreated the PCB for the Apple II Plus. If not, that might actually be something I want to do someday, but not as part of this. I'm pretty sure somebody's already done the 2GS. Like, and if they haven't, that is actually one that I might do, because 2GS, I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. Because the 2GS motherboard gets battery bombed, and so there's a real need for them. There's not really much of a need for the like the 2 Plus and the 2E and the original 2, just because there's not really a lot that goes wrong with them. Classifies as vintage? Good question. I say anything that's 8 or 16-bit, maybe 32. That's sort of back up. The number one classification is, does a schematic exist for the computer? Because if you can't get a schematic for it, then, I don't know that. If you want to do the reverse engineering effort of creating it, go for it. But I was kind of just picking the stuff that schematics were usually published, or like in the case of the Apple II and II Plus, as well as the Commodore VIC-20 and 64. Well, let me rephrase that. In all those, in almost every 8-bit computer, the schematic was available at the time the computer was sold. Sometimes they were included with the computer. Sometimes you had to buy a separate thing. It wasn't always, interesting. Yeah, that's an input. So they weren't always available. They didn't like the Apple II and II Plus, I think it was included in the reference manual, but I think you had to buy the reference manual separate. The Commodore 64, the schematic was in the programmer's manual. But I think the VIC-20, it was included in the owner's manual. So it was just like that. Anyway, that's to me the real clarification is, can you get the schematic? Because if you can't get the schematic, then it sort of doesn't matter. But I think I want to draw the line at, the reason I cautiously saying 32-bit, because I would like to redraw the schematics for some Macintoshes. G-Shock watch. Well, I did realize without even thinking about it, I put the Sega Game Gear in, so I guess vintage game consoles count as well now. So, whoops. Okay. The one example, and I don't apologize if it's one of you guys that asked, but somebody asked about like a stereo at one point, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to go that far. I didn't want to go as far as all vintage electronics, just because at that point I don't feel like it's like by saying vintage computer system, I feel like it limits the scope to something that's a little bit easier to define. But at the same time, as I'm kind of hemming and hawing here, I didn't want it to be like a hard limitation, right? I didn't want to say only Apple computers or something like that, because there's lots of like random stuff out there that should totally be documented. So, but I feel like if it's an 8-bit computer system, it could fit pretty easily. ATT released the BIOS code. Yeah, I mean, even the original IBM PC had the schematic available. You could buy it from. You could buy a copy from IBM. In fact, I think I have the book. I think I have the paper version of their schematic. The BIOS, you might have been able to actually get the BIOS, but it was obviously copyrighted. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's actually, I'll tell you one of the interesting things is when you start with the Apple II and you go from 2, 2 Plus, 2E, 2C, 2GS, and then Macintosh, you can see how, especially, okay, if you just look at the two Apple II lines, you can actually see how as each generation came out, how much of the documentation and the hardware reference was just copy and paste from the previous, and how much smaller it got over time. And so it was kind of like, okay, as long as the information is still valid, we'll copy it over. But if we have to explain something new, then it's super brief. And you get down to the 2GS and it's like most of the chips are not described in any detail in the 2GS hardware reference. Whereas if you look at even the Apple IIe, there's a really good description of the IOU and MMU. And so it's just kind of crazy how that changed over time. So, I mean, part of it is, and I know everyone likes to be cynical and say, well, that's just because Apple wanted to hide it and whatever. I mean, part of it is the customer just cared less and less about that kind of thing. That wasn't information like people buying a computer cared about anymore. In 1977, you wanted a schematic. The people buying a computer in the early 1980s were the kind of person that would want to design hardware and fiddle around with it. That was the customer. And then eventually it wasn't. And then the other side of it is it just became more and more expensive. I mean, you had less customers that were interested in the information, and it became more expensive to create the information. So it's like, of course, this gets reduced. But I just, like I said, anyway, backing up. I'm getting off top or babbling. Anyway, what I noticed, it's just interesting to me how you start with the Apple II Plus, where everything is documented in extreme detail, and you get to the 2GS, and it's like the document is the same number of pages, even though the computer is ridiculously more complicated. And I guess arguably you could say, well, you don't really need, I'm not going to say that, even though that's totally what I did. Never mind. Okie dokie. Okay, so high res, let's get you. Let's make a high res label. Copy this, delete that. Excuse me again. Move this over to here. That's looking good. All right. Okay, global labels. There you are. I knew there was more. Now, why in the world? Okay, I wonder if we can make these smaller. Is there a small version of solder jumper? No. 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 Okay. All right. So let's put this comment down here. let's move this here. Nope, go this way. So I can move this over here. And then the problem is this won't. Okay, I can deal with this. We can just do one of these. Okay. Now, let's move these to here. And then if I move this out here, okay. All right, so if I bring this bus up here, that's basically what I'm going to do. And then we're going to delete this. Here's what I'm going to do. We're just going to delete the bus. So I'll use a drag to the right so that we can highlight multiple things, but only things that fall within the selection will get actually selected. So that way I don't accidentally select things I don't want. Now I'll use drag to the left to partially select things. So anything that touches gets selected. Because then I want to move this all the way over to here. And we'll move this one, and we move this one. And then we're going to make this text be 1 millimeters. And make this text 1 millimeter so it matches. And then we can move that down. Okay, I'm going to go to an alternate grid for that, but we'll wait. I wonder if I could, maybe if I did this. Would this make sense? No, I changed my mind on that, but I do want to make this 1 millimeter. Okay, so let's highlight this guy, move this over to here, bust that into there. So the problem is I wasn't paying attention because we still don't have enough space for LD6 and 7. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I kind of like that better. It's still, oh, you know what I could do? This is questionable, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm going to move this, have that branch over to the right. And then that way I can move all of this over just a little more. There. Okay. I like that much better. Let's make that 1 millimeter. Let's make that 1 millimeter. The original iMac is museum worthy. That's crazy. So here's a fun fact about the original iMac. So what was the big deal when the iMac came out? It had no floppy drive. It had the CD-ROM, and it had this newer thing called USB. It was one of the first computers that was like just a USB-based computer and no floppy drive. Here was the cool thing about it, though. On the motherboard was a spot for the SIWM chip, or the Sanders Integrated WAS machine, or the Super Integrated WAS machine, as some people call it, but I like to say the Sanders because Windows Sanders is actually who made the chip. That was the same one used in all the previous Macintosh computers, which provided floppy drive support, which is entirely based on the IWM that was in the 2GS, 2C, and now the Mega 2E, just with support for 1.44 meg floppies. So even though the computer was sold as a USB and CD-ROM only machine, it did originally have hardware support for floppy drive. So if I ever get a hold of an original iMac, I want to check to see if that is the case, and then I'm going to put one of my IWMs into it and see what happens, or my SIWMs, or ISWM, I don't remember, or SWIM. Okay, this looks really cool. So let's do the same thing we did before. I'm going to do a highlight everything, We're going to paste into Sublime, and now I'm going to do global. It did not have PS2. Nope. It was a USB. It was USB keyboard and mouse. It was a terrible mouse too. Power symbol. Okay. It was a hockey puck that was very painful to use. So H0 still has. Okay, so global label is what I want to look for. All right, so H0 still exists. So let's see. Let's look for H0. Search current sheet only. Oh, yeah, there's this whole section right here. Okay. All right. So let's see. Did we create an H0 yet? No. So let's do that. I'm fairly confident we made a VC. So let's switch him over. Make a label for H0. Do that. And I'm going to, oh, nope. And I'm going to copy this. We're going to come over here. And we're going to just paste that like around here somewhere. And then we'll come back over to, yeah, because before the iMac went to USB, all Macintosh computers had the Apple Desktop Bus, ADB, which actually has a lot of functional equivalent of USB. But that was actually started on, that was from 1986. The 2GS introduced it first, and then the Macintosh Plus, I think, had it, because the first two Macintoshes had a proprietary thing. Well, ADB was proprietary as well, but it was usable across all Macintosh computers. And I think there was, even for a short time, there was a USB to ADB adapter that people could buy. I don't know if Apple produced it or if it was a third-party thing. I feel like I remember seeing those on some iMacs. But yeah, no, it was definitely they never did any real PC interfaces. I'm trying to think, because like their external drives it was all SCSI to connect to a like any kind of external imaging device was usually SCSI. Their printer ports were actually serial ports. So I hate to do it this way, but I'm going to. Yeah, I mean, Macs were weird. And I mean, the iMac was, that was one of the things that sort of like caught people's attention, was that the iMac was starting to adopt PC technology. I would have to go check, and if somebody knows, you can correct me. But I think even the CD-ROM, I think, was an IDE based. I don't think it was a SCSI CD-ROM. So, which, if that's true, then that would have been the first one that did that. The first Macintosh that did that. I don't remember for sure. I do know not too long after that, they basically dropped SCSI. So they went, I guess maybe they replaced SCSI with FireWire at some point, because that was a big deal. What was really cool was you could actually set up a Macintosh or a Power Mac to be a FireWire hard drive. So like if you're having trouble getting it to boot, you basically, the chipset supported a target mode. So like, let's say your RAM was hosed, you could effectively get the computer's hard drive to show up as a FireWire drive, so you could copy files off of it as a last resort, or as a backup, or whatever. It was a really cool mode. I actually kind of missed that. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's copy everything. We'll come over here. Now we may have missed some labels, but when we start running ERC again, we're going to find out if we missed something. Global label V1. Is there any others? Just V1. Okay. V1, where are you at? You're right there. Well, that's awkward. That is super, super awkward. because I want to do like something like this. And then we'll change that. And then I'll go ahead and label it V1 just so that it's all good. It's all good, man. No ring singling. Interesting. I don't think I knew that that was a case. I want to look into that because I've been trying to get my Wi-Fi modem, which I actually have sitting right here. I've been trying to get my Wi-Fi modem to connect to my 2GS, and I have not figured out the magic cable to make that work. I was messing around with it several months ago, and then I just gave up. Well, I had a bunch of other stuff I had to do. All right, I'm going to move these so that they're up here. And then let's move this one so that it's... Maybe we'll put it like right here. And then I'm going to move this one. Oh, no. I meant G. G. But actually, now that you say that, I do remember there being something where the Apple serial the serial interface was not truly RS-232 compliant. Like that, I remember that being a problem. That's going to shake some cobwebs loose. Okay, there's a couple minor things in here that I would like to change, but I think we'll just keep moving forward because this is starting to go pretty well. What I am going to do is at least try to get these to be grouped near each other, even though I have no idea how this is going to shake out. I'll at least try to get these like, let's see, that'd be 2, 1, 0, VC, V2. Try to at least group them together so that it's not total disarray. And then these, I have no idea where these are going to go. High res, that's probably off of the address decode. Horizontal blank. LD0, I'll just put it right there for now. 14 meg. 7 meg. I want to move those. Load shift register. I think this is actually related to the video. And then there's that soft 5 again. What is H0? So that should be 2, 1, 0, 2. I don't know. I'm just putting these over here. Oh, that must be graphics. Oh, this must be the different modes. Okay. Let's put RAS. Yeah, okay. Okay. So why didn't we have an H1? Is there no H1? Interesting. Wonder why that's the case. Let's move you over here. Let's move you to here. Move this to here. Okay. Save that. Let's see. This has a whole bunch of stuff in it. This actually doesn't have that much stuff in it, but maybe we will do RAM next. This has a boatload of things. Okay. Connectors are probably going to be super busy. Yeah. But with this, we should be able to do a lot of copy and paste. That might be tempting. I feel like this should be down here. And then we can move this to be over here. Yeah, maybe we'll do this connector one because this should be mostly copy and paste. Because like, for example, if we take this and then we do a label for D07 and then we draw the bus over to here, and I can just copy this and then we'll just delete this one and paste it. Delete this one and paste it. Delete this one and paste it. Delete this one and paste. Delete and paste. guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete and then paste because I'm a super serious schematic drawer. If anyone gets that reference, I'll be shocked. All right. And then we'll put that over here because that is a bidirectional. And then we'll go ahead and do an H and do D0 or D0.7 bider. Put that right there. Oh, there's a bunch of sirens outside. Can you guys hear them? Or are they getting drowned out? All right. So address, we will, same thing. We'll just do label A0.15. And then what I'm going to do when I get to the other side of this page, I'm going to convert one of those so that I don't have to create a label. Delete. Oh, copy, paste. Yeah, this one's going to go pretty quick. It's just a shame this wasn't done in the... Oh, I meant to... Okay, I'll borrow that one. So what I want to do is I want to convert this one. We're going to move that up here. Because the... Oh, wait. Slots, the address is bidirectional. Because the slots can drive the address bus. It's normally single direction, but if they yank DMA down, then they can drive the address bus. Copy paste is cheating. Oh, come on, Squire. You know you do it too. I had a question for you. Now I don't remember what it was. I was looking at something earlier and I was thinking you would know the answer. We'll have to see if it comes back up. I was like looking at something on the CPU page. Yeah, I can't remember what it is now. Oh, we should delete that. So, okay. I am going to guess this is a typo, but I'm not sure how it would have gotten made. Why would this have ERA 6 instead of CRA? Is there anywhere else ERA 6 exists in this design? All right, what we'll do is we'll do a to-do. This was ERA 6. We'll do that because just in case I'm wrong, when we finally do, because ultimately what I want to do after we get a lot of this other stuff cleaned up is then start to go through and compare this to the reference schematic. I actually had thought about doing that as like this step. But my reasoning was by changing or fixing these labels, it would give me a chance to get more familiar with the rest of the schematic so that if I see something that's kind of funny and it's like, well, I'm not sure what's going on here, I can better understand between what the original designer, like the original person that made this, like if they interpreted the schematic in a way, I might better recognize something. So that was my thought process anyway. All right, so I am going to make this a bigger sheet, which makes the PDF export a little bit harder, but we need the room. I'd rather just make the sheet bigger and yeah, I just rather do it that way. All right, so then let's add a wire. For CRA6. Oh, nope. Move you up. No. Darn it. Darn it. Okay. here's what we're going to do. We're going to copy and paste because I'm tired of forgetting what I was doing. We're going to convert these. Then we're going to do a line. I'm going to do an insert because I want to cheat big time. So then we'll do a ECAS. And we'll do a RAS. And we'll do a read write, which is weird. I wonder if that's related to how the video does a read for the refresh. Okay, and then I want to be able to basically do, oh, we almost got it. That's okay. Perfect. So then I can just copy this. And then my goal was to grab these, delete, and then paste this in. Except I want to move all this in quite a bit. That's much better looking. Okay. Let's do this. Also, I just thought of, oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Is there ECAD? Oh, maybe that's not a mistake. Because this has ECAS. Okay. I just have this feeling this was a mistake. Like, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be decas. And if it's not, well, when we verify, we will find out. There. Solved that conundrum. Kinda. All right, so then we can delete these, and we can do paste. All right, so then I can do this and paste. Then we can do this and paste. Yeah, look at that. That's going quick. That's quick. Quick like a bunny. Oh, that's not right. Well, we fixed that problem. Probably missed that when I was putting everything back on the grid. So if you guys weren't here a couple weeks ago, oh my gosh. The original schematic that was drawn was not drawn with a 0.1 inch millimeter grid. And so I had to move every single element of the schematic back onto the grid and then clean it up afterwards, which is another reason why we have to go through and look at the schematic anyway, because it's not clear if I made mistakes along the way. Because there's one thing I know about myself is I do tend to make mistakes. Just saying. I have done it once or twice. I could probably say I've done it once or twice tonight. I'd still be off by an order of 10. All right. Oh, why aren't these lining up? Oh, because I'm dumb. That's why. So I have my watch set up to tell me when it's going to rain. And it's one of these notifications that is super useful when it's useful and not when it's not. And so like I have my window open and I can hear when it's raining. So I don't need it to tell me it's going to start raining, especially when it is already raining. It's like, come on, guys. But there are other times when it's like nice to know because I'm about to go outside and it's like, hey, it's going to rain. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be out there when it rains. What are you, crazy? All right. And then, oh, it's our old friend, Soft 5. Actually, I'll leave it down here for the moment. This is what I wanted to flip around a couple times. All right. So we can delete this now. And then I'm going to delete this. And we're going to make... Oh, I was going to do this first so that I can do a copy paste. All right. Ah, where'd you go? Why'd you do that? Don't do that. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move this into about there. Delete these. Copy these. You know what just occurred to me? Did we actually bring Raz in? No, we did not. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Latched data bus for the oh, that's what that is. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to delete this. We're going to add a label for latched data 0.7. Rotate that. Bring the bus over to here. And then delete this. Delete that. Copy and paste this. Oh, I should have saved it. Oh, well. Then we'll add a hierarchy, LD 0.7, assuming bidirectional, and go right there. That looks good to me. All right. So next on the docket is going to be RA, basically RAM address. I recognize that from the Mega, since it does the DRAM refresh for the 2GS. LinkedIn spam is getting out of control. I am exceptionally tired of a very particular type of person sending me connection request. It's always a male name, a woman's picture from a certain part of the world, and it's always, I am so impressed by all of your professional experience. I would be honored if we could be connected. It's like, no. I don't know that that can be any more obvious of some type of scam. I find it interesting when the woman's picture is a certain ethnicity and the male name is a different ethnicity. It's like, okay, you're not even, I mean, I don't even know who they're trying to trick because it's so obviously fake. But I get those, I mean, I almost want to say I get them every day. Ah, go away. All right. And then where does RD0 and where did that come from? That must come from somewhere else because it's not on this page, is it? Oh, it's the data bus. Okay. Well, what the heck? Wait a minute. So these RAMs have a data in and data out. Huh. So then, how does the CPU do a read? Unless it gets it from this latched data. Okay. Because if that's the case, then this is actually an output. It's not bidirectional. And then over here, we're going to have D07. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. We'll do D07 as an input. I foresee spending some time reading a PDF when I go to bed. That's maybe something I should admit out loud. Because I'm not convinced how this data is working. But let me just add a quick note. So D0 is input and RD0 is output. Or LD0 is output. Can CPU see LD0 or just video? Because there was already a comment on the page about latched video. Okay. Oh, I should have. No, come back. Why did you do that? What's the, how do you add a enter? I thought it was alt. Actually, I thought it was just enter, and then alt enter is, anyway, that's what it was. Okay, so let's do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then label D0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Aw, off by 1. All right, I'm doing this so that I can totally cheat. And then we can just do label D1. All right, highlight this, paste. Almost. Label D2, paste, label D3, highlight this, paste. No, well, not P. What the heck am I? No, I want to label D4. Delete, put this in. Nope. Nice try, buddy. Let's do label D5. And over here, label D6. And then we can do 7. All right. And then we do the same down here, I guess. So now I wonder if these are lined up. Oh, the rewrite's going to be in my way. I should be able to do this, though. Copy. And... Why did the why did that one not get? I must not edit this correctly. Let's try that. And now let's paste this guy. And almost. Wonder why this one's off. Looks like the symbols are lined up. Like I can see that one's not lined up. Let's move you here. And then we just delete this junction, move this back, delete that junction, and then do a wire connection. Wonder if that's not on the grid. Okay. I find this suspicious. This doesn't. I'm not sure why those were off by just a little bit. Wait. No, I don't know. This is the Apple II Plus schematic, redrawn in KiCad, part of the Bit Preserve project. I am making corrections to this entry, which somebody graciously provided, but it had a few issues we came across when we were updating the schematics for version 7. Okay. I'm going to try that again because I think that's still faster than... I wonder. Yeah, I still think that's faster. I just... Because like this one, I already see that it's off. But we'll see what happens. Missed it by that much. Man, that's still bugging me. That's easy enough to fix. Just weird how these aren't as symmetric as I would have thought. The anal retentiveness of me wants to go and fix it, but the I want to be done with this is going to win. Nope. Got to do it this way. It's still faster than what I was doing before, though. I mean, even clean that up a little bit. Okay, cool. So that looks so much better than it was. Yeah, like one day I should come back through and do a beauty pass and like align everything. That's not going to be today. Well, definitely not today, but okay. So LD0CRA, I have no idea where that comes from. I swear I have not seen that yet. So that must be the IO decode side or RAM multiplexing. RAM addresses, maybe from over there. Read write, I bet is from over there. Data, it's got to be over there somewhere. What was this one? The DCA, RAS, Soft 5. I really need to figure out where that one's at. So, all right, cool. Well, that looks good. All right. I don't know why I'm going to run ERC. It's going to be so mad. Yeah, like everything's not connected. So, yeah, it's like, no. Let's just try this real quick. Let's connect a few things and see what happens. That's an easy one. Let's see. Data can connect to here. And this can connect to here. And then let's see. I don't see any of the clocks. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to do still. That This is just for fun. That did not fix many of the errors. What is this one? Why are you so mad? Pin not connected. Oh, well, that's why. The fact that it's not connected. All right, does that at least take it down to 226? Oh, that took care of a bunch. Nice. Nice. Okay. But that's kind of pointless because we got to rearrange all this stuff anyway. So that's just for fun. Yeah, it's kind of funny. We got it down to 0 ERC errors so that I could go through and mess it up again. It's like, wait a minute. Why did I leave this as black? Oh, yeah, this is because of all this VA stuff. That's actually what drove me to we have to fix the... Okay, this will be a good point to pick up next week. So, all right, I think I'm going to call it. If you haven't checked it out yet, I think the last Workbench Wednesdays video, which was 3 weeks ago, was a review of the Digilant USB power supply. Wow, the bot is not, or is it just Workbench Wednesday? The bot is not responding. All right. There, I'll do that. Anyway, you can go check that out. If you're going to be in Pasadena on November 3rd through 5th, I'll be at SuperCon, and I'll be talking about the Mega 2E project there. And otherwise, you can find us on the Discord. You want to keep the conversation going. And I'll be back next Thursday around this time. Probably 1 hour. If I do stream on Thursday, it'll be 1 hour from before now. So whatever time it is now, subtract an hour. That's when I'll be back. So Squire, thanks for coming by. Silent, good to see you again. Jack, thanks for hanging out. Bellum, if you're still around, great to see you. I am Butterfly. I'll bet you're watching. Great. Thanks for joining. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good week. Go build something. Hey, XOT. Good to see you too. Thanks for coming by. Take care, guys. Bye.